Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little bit different. I think this is more personal, and this is I think something that I have been dealing with for a very long time, like since I was pretty young, honestly. The fact that I am extremely tiny, which from the title, obviously you guys would know that I'm talking about my weight, how my body looks, and basically what I've been through during these past couple of years. So I'll give you some background as to like where I'm coming from, basically. So growing up, so I'm not from here, Canada. So I grew up in Zambia, and that's home. That's my first love, always will be. And I have been tiny and tall. So tiny and tall for a really long time. I mean, I'm still tiny and I'm still tall, but I have been really small ever since I was a baby. I think I was a chubby baby, and then I just lost all that weight growing up, obviously. And I grew up pretty tiny, like throughout my primary, throughout my high school, I was really tiny. Coming into uni, I was extremely tiny. So I will start from like primary, which isn't a big deal, right? Because we're all kids and stuff. So it wasn't really anything, you know. I never really noticed. When I started to notice I was really tiny was everybody that was around me. So I mean, like my family, not my friends, specifically my family, and really close family members. So everything started from home, right? Like, oh, you're really tiny, you need to eat, like little sentences like that. And I was like, I mean, okay, never really got it until I went to high school and I saw like different body shapes, and I was like, oh, I'm really small, you know. And then going back home, so I was in a boarding school for like 6 years, I can't remember, but I was there for quite some time. And we had 3 months in school, 1 month home, 3 months in school, 1 month home. So yeah, they're like 9 months at school and then 3 months at home. And I found myself getting extremely self-conscious and very insecure about how small I was. And because I'm tall, so like I pretty much stand out everywhere that I am. So the first thing you see is like my height and then how small I am. And I remember like really close family members saying to me like, oh, do you eat? So hearing that as you're growing up, you're like, wait, is there something wrong with me? Which is crazy, because in high school, I probably was among the people that ate like cows. I swear I ate a lot, but I never gained weight. So every time I ate, I'm like, I'm not seeing a connection with how I'm eating and how my body is reacting to the food, right? Seeing as I have a really fast metabolism, I don't think I quite understood that as I was growing up. So every time I went home, it's like, oh, you're not eating, you're really skinny, you look sick. So when you're growing up and you're, you know, building your self-confidence and your self-awareness, I guess, and just knowing who you are, a lot of people associated who I was or who I am with what I look like and what my weight is, which I guess transpires with like everybody, right? It's the first thing that people see. So that's exactly what I grew up with. It's like I grew up knowing like, you know, I'm pretty skinny, I'm pretty tiny, I look sick, am I okay? Am I taking care of myself? Like all those questions that, were thrown in my face were things that I grew up with. And where I'm from, which is interesting, it's a total opposite when you come here, but where I'm from, the thicker, the better. Okay. And I don't know if it's like that for every other African country, so I don't want to make a blanket statement, but the thicker, baby, the better you are. So I was not in that circle. Like I was not a thick girl. Basically, my weight was equal to my beauty. That's where I was. Like how tiny and how big I was connected to how beautiful or how other people saw me. So I always thought for a very long time that I was very ugly, which coming to realize I'm not. But you know, I remember I was in South Africa for a little bit, and I was visiting family friends and having a good time, and one of my dad's friends, like we were having breakfast at his place anyways, and then he's like, do you eat? Are you anorexic? And that was the first time I think I ever stood up for myself. Side note, that is a very serious, I guess, condition or whatever. I don't really know the technical term or the appropriate term. And if you're experiencing that, I'm really, really sorry. And I hope you do seek help. But I remember hearing that and processing it really quickly. But it was also the first time I ever stood up for myself. And I was like, don't you ever, which, if you're African, you know what I'm talking about. Speaking out and speaking up is a really, really big thing, especially to your elders. I remember just saying, don't you ever say that to me. Because one, that's offensive. Two, you know I'm not anorexic. Don't do that. Please, I'm not your child. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, like, you know, joking. And I remember, you're like 40 or 45. Even if you're addressing or you think I'm not doing well, that is not the right way to go about it. It isn't funny and it's not a joke, you know? A few moments later, I came to school, which was a very, very different experience. Safe to say that when I did come here, I had quite of a shift, like a different experience, because I know it is socially acceptable for you to be tiny, except I still did have a few people saying, so how does it feel to be skinny? How does it feel to be that small? It's not great sometimes, I'll tell you. Anyways, so coming here was a different experience because I feel like I know that it is kind of socially acceptable to be my weight or slightly bigger or slightly, I don't know what the perfect weight society has placed on us, but you know, it was a different shift, like having people say, oh my God, you have a really great body. Oh my God, you're really beautiful. Now, I do understand that their understanding of what beauty is connected to a very society. But I think experiencing that shift from home to coming here to being appreciated kind of made me think it doesn't really matter where the hell you are, bruh. People will either love you or accept you for who you are. And I think what's really important is accepting yourself for who you really, really are. As a tiny person, it's weird because I have stretch marks, which I know if you saw from the beginning of the video, those are some of my insecurities or parts that I'm super insecure about. How I have really huge stretch marks on my knees, my ass, on my back, my non-existent ass, which doesn't even make sense because why do I have stretch marks on my ass? I don't even got an ass. Annoying. But yeah, it kind of helped me understand, or I'm coming to realization that you kind of need to love yourself because people's comments, whether good or bad, should not validate how you feel. I'm still getting to that point. I don't know where you are at in your journey. I wish you all the best. I think a lot of people, especially here, don't understand that quite a few tiny, thin, skinny, small people go through a lot of, oh, I really hope you can still see me, go through a lot of self-doubt and self-hate because of how they look and because of the tiny, because of the words that people say to them. I think a lot of people have an idea that skinny, tiny, small people do not feel insecure because that is the beauty standard of what the world is. However, I think most people do not understand that skinny shaming does exist, which in no way am I trying to minimize fat shaming or any type of body shaming that happens, because I do know and I do realize and acknowledge the fact that my body size or smaller people are considered more beautiful or accepted in today's society and have been for quite a bit. So in no way am I saying we go through the most or we're at the same level. I think what I'm trying to say is we all experience really, really shitty things. Well, I have anyways. I can't speak for everybody, but skinny shaming does exist. And I think it's taken me a really, really long time to get to this space that I'm in with my body, which, by the way, I am not quite there yet. I'm still trying to accept the fact that I'm tiny. I'm still trying to accept the fact that when I do gain weight, it doesn't go to my ass, my legs, my hands. It goes to my big ass head. That's what it goes to. My face. I look like a freaking chipmunk when I try to gain weight or when I do gain weight. Anyway, so fast forward to where I am now. I think I'm in a better space, which if you ask the people around me, I think they would still say that I still have quite a bit of insecurities with how I look, what I put in my body. Not that I'm trying to stay small, but I think there are moments when I'm like, oh my God, I'm so ugly. I'm so small. I have no ass. The last part is true. I have no ass. But I'm still accepting that. I don't know. I'm thinking of getting butt implants or something because the ghetto. Because I'm still trying to get to a really good place with myself. But yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in the next video. I might have some really juicy things. Okay, maybe not that juicy. I'm just really excited. You should keep watching, and thank you so much if you're watching and you're with us till the end. I can't wait to see you in the next one, and I hope you're super excited to see the next one too. Thanks for being in my space. I really appreciate you. If you have anything to share in the comments, you should leave them below. I will look at them. If they're really private, or if you really want to talk about some of the things that you're experiencing, you can email me. I will get back to you as soon as possible. I appreciate you guys. I love you, and thanks for being a part of the family.